Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by the Senator of Migori is very important. Mr. Speaker, it must occur to us that Morocco, a country in Africa, is the 5th largest economy in Africa. And Kenya and Ethiopia were in position 6. To sit and refuse to have and fail to have formal relationship with Africa's 5th biggest economy is to lose the obvious, Mr. Speaker. I therefore would like to urge the respective committee, would like to urge the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, remembering that my good friend, Dr. Sugoi, who people are not very happy, who senators are not very happy with this morning, to be up to the task so that we move towards formalizing this relationship. The second point, Mr. Speaker, I would like to make is that the East African community has now expanded and invited Somalia into the community. Having done so, it means that some of the good things of Somalia are now on board, but also the headaches that Somalia has. Somaliland, dear colleagues, senators, Somaliland is a headache to the Republic of Somalia. So what, to my understanding, prompted the PS to respond in the manner he did, Mr. Speaker, to my understanding, is the possibility, because we have not talked to him, that Somalia might have raised a formal complaint about the engagement that we were perceived to have made with Somaliland, which is a problem to the country. Mr. Speaker, as I say this, don't let it be lost to this House that even Morocco has a similar challenge in the name of Western Sahara. The moment we shall engage with Morocco, we will have to devise means on how we can deal with the headache of Western Sahara. Mr. Speaker, you and I have the unique opportunity, which we had, that we served in the Ministry of East African Community. And Mr. Speaker, let's not personalize this. After you pulled down your tweet, and after Sugoi had made the comments he made, I have taken time to listen to what Sugoi was saying. Sugoi did not attack the Senate. Sugoi did not attack the Speaker. Sugoi spoke to the mandate of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Sugoi emphasized the oversight role of Parliament on matters of international relationship. So why a leader, in fact a house of sober leaders like this one, would want to belabor and blow that clarification from Sugoi out of proportion? It beats my logic. What are we fighting Sugoi for? Mr. Speaker, with your permission, what are we fighting Sugoi for? I'm referring. What are we fighting him for? Let's call a spade a spade. Mr. Speaker, Sugoi said the following things. He says, foreign policy of the Republic is the function of the national government. That is a fact. He said, Parliament's role in foreign policy is oversight on exercise of foreign relationship by national government. That is a fact. He said, it is Kenya's established and unchanging policy to remain consistent with the African Union on the matter of the Federation of the Republic of Somalia. What's wrong with that? Mr. Speaker, are we saying this Parliament want to push an agenda that is contrary to the position of the African Union on Somalia? We would be missing it. And finally, Mr. Speaker, Sugoi said Somaliland, a region within the Federal Republic of Somalia, has a liaison office for commercial purposes in Nairobi. That means he was acknowledging that Somaliland is not a pariah. It already has been given an opportunity to deal with Kenya. I appeal to colleagues that we don't try to kill a fly with a sledgehammer. This is a non-issue. Let the PS of Foreign Affairs enjoy his freedom of thought, freedom of expression. Some of us have had to pay high prices for freedom of expression. Let us not use Parliament to intimidate civil servants. If we want to deal with foreign affairs, there is a substantive minister who we can call here instead of focusing on his civil servant who he can manage himself. Mr. Speaker, sir, Morocco, which is the issue that the member from Migori has raised here, is so important that they are also the giants of soccer in Africa. They have also produced some of the top athletes in this country. Those of us who have had an opportunity to go to Morocco, we know that there's so much we can learn, so much we can partner, so much we can benefit from by relating to Morocco formally. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I congratulate the Senator of Migori.
Senator Osotsio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. We wish to comment on the two statements. One statement by Senator Eddy and a statement by Senator Mudigi. Let me start with the statement by Senator Mudigi on centralized procurement of school learning material. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very crucial statement because there are challenges right now, Mr. Speaker, in terms of the change of policy to centrally procure learning material, particularly books, to schools. I have received complaints from head teachers in my county that some schools have had to receive books which they don't really need. A school is not doing Islamic studies and is being given books on Islamic studies, really. That's a waste. So, Mr. Speaker, the idea to change the policy to centralized procurement may have been inspired by the need to have a centralized accountability on the procurement process. But that, in a way, it's going to create more problems than the system that was there before. So I think the Committee on Education needs to really reflect on this matter, look at all the possibilities, look at all the loopholes, and report to this House so that, if possible, we should actually revert to the system that was there before, which was that every school could handle procurement of its learning material. Mr. Speaker, let me also comment on the issue of establishment of an embassy in Morocco. Mr. Speaker, this issue of having an embassy in Morocco is long overdue. And there is no justification at all for Kenya government not to have an embassy in Morocco. Because all the leading economies in Africa, they all have embassies in Morocco. Start with Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Algeria. They all have embassies in Morocco because Morocco is a big economy and Morocco is a flourishing economy, which this country really needs to benefit from having a diplomatic engagement with Morocco. So there is no justification not to have. But I'm aware, Mr. Speaker, the government is trying to quietly establish an office in Morocco. But, Mr. Speaker, as a standard, I think it's important for that process to be processed through Parliament, so that Parliament gives an approval for the establishment of embassies in such strategic countries. Mr. Speaker, coming to the issue of the PS for Foreign Affairs, I have heard Senator Khalwale trying to defend the PS. I think there is no justification in what he did. When we have high-ranking government officials resorting to exchanging on social media, then there is a problem. Mr. Speaker, the PS would easily have taken his phone and called you. Instead of now going to respond to you on social media. That is unacceptable, and we are seeing this trend emerge in this current government. We have seen the behavior of the CS Moses Kuria on social media and others. I mean, there should be a better way of communicating within government. So there is no justification in what the PS did. And Mr. Speaker, Parliament plays a big role in foreign policy implementation. After all the treaties that we engage in as a country are ratified by this House. So when the PS gives an impression that the Parliament and Senate has no role in engaging on diplomatic mission, Mr. Speaker, that is misconduct. And if it was another country, that PS would be at home by now, Mr. Speaker. He will be at home, I'm telling you. If this thing happened during President Moi's time, by 1 o'clock news, we would hear that the PS has been sacked. So this crippling indiscipline in government, Mr. Speaker, I think is something that we need to deal with as a House, and there is no justification in what the PS did. But Mr. Speaker, this is the problem of giving responsibility to people who have no civil service experience. They will always do things in this manner. Serious ministries like Foreign Affairs require serious, experienced civil servants who are also diplomats, Mr. Speaker. So Mr. Speaker, I want to
What is your point of order, Senator Boni?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order, rising on standing order number 105, for the member to impute improper motives on our civil servants when he knows that Abraham Sugoi, doctor, was not only vetted for by the National Assembly, but that this is a distinguished lawyer with a doctorate in law. And Mr. Speaker,
Senator Boni, what is your point of order?
The point of order is
information. Very good information you're giving. It's not a point of order. So choose. Are you on a point of information or a point of order?
Yes,
Are you informing Senator Osotsio of the resume of the PS, or are you calling to order the honorable senator who was speaking?
It's a thin line, Mr. Speaker.
You can't do both.
Mr. Speaker, it's a thin line. Under 105...
The line can never be thin, Senator.
Under our standing orders, Mr. Speaker, with due respect, 105 expects that members should be guided by the factuality of what they are speaking to.
Senator Boni, that's why I'm asking you.
Yes.
Are you on a point of order or you are on a point of information? Just pick one and proceed.
A point of order.
Okay, what is this that is out of order?
He's misleading the House that Dr. Abraham Sugoi is not competent enough to be our principal secretary, when in fact the education Abraham has, the district senator from Iga can only dream about it. He doesn't even have even 20% of that. We need to appreciate the quality of professionalism in our government of Kenya Kwanza, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsio,
Mr. Speaker, Boni Khalwale is just wasting my time. And I want to tell Boni Khalwale that I am also learned. I have a degree in computer science. I have a master's degree in computer science. I have an MBA. I have more degrees than Boni Khalwale. So don't say that I can only dream of...
Honorable senators. Honorable senators, at this rate I may require every one of you. Order, Senator Boni. Kindly, Senator Osotsio, abandon that line of argument and proceed to prosecute your contribution and conclude, please. Senator Boni, we are veering off the subject matter. Kindly proceed to...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the PS for Foreign Affairs deserves to apologize to you as a Speaker of this House and to this House. Because in the ranking order, Mr. Speaker, you are too senior. In fact, I would have forgiven the Ministry of Foreign Affairs if maybe that statement was written by Prime Cabinet Secretary and the CS for Foreign Affairs. That is your level, Mr. Speaker, but not a junior officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We deserve an apology. You deserve an apology. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Majority Leader Cheriot.